Imagine being 20 years old, standing on a roadside in Oregon. The year is 1977. You are just trying to visit a friend, so you stick out your thumb. A car pulls over. Inside is a young couple, Cameron and Janice Hooker. They look safe. They look friendly. You get in. You have no idea that you just made a decision that will cost you the next 7 years of your life. This is the terrifying true story of Colleen Stan, known to the world as the girl in the box. Shortly after that car door closed, the friendly facade dropped. Cameron Hooker pulled a knife. He bound Colleen, blindfolded her, and forced her into a homemade wooden head box designed to keep her silent. They drove her to their home in Red Bluff, California, where the real nightmare began. For 7 years, Colleen was kept as a prisoner, but it wasn't in a dungeon or a basement. She was kept inside a wooden box, barely larger than a coffin, shoved underneath the couple's waterbed. She spent up to 23 hours a day in that darkness, let out only to be abused or to perform labor. But the physical chains weren't what kept her there. It was a terrifying psychological cage. Cameron convinced Colleen that he was part of a powerful, omnipotent secret organization called the Company. He told her they were watching her every move, forcing her to sign a slave contract. She believed that if she tried to escape, the Company would torture and murder her family. Through fear and learned helplessness, he broke her reality. Even when he eventually allowed her to work outside the house, she didn't run. She was convinced the shadows were watching. The twist in this horror story comes from the wife, Janice. She participated in the abduction and the abuse for years, but in 1984, realizing her husband was a monster who had manipulated them both, Janice finally broke. She told Colleen that the Company was a lie. There was no organization. It was just Cameron. Janice helped Colleen escape and went to the police, receiving full immunity for her testimony. Cameron Hooker was sentenced to 104 years in prison and was recently deemed a sexually violent predator to keep him off the streets forever. Colleen Stan survived one of the longest kidnappings in American history, proving that the most unbreakable chains are the ones placed on the human mind.